Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Spring 2018. And yeah, you may need to blink a few times because yes, BBQ Olivers just took down SKT and it was beautiful. The execution, the team composition, everything just made me so happy.
And I know that you have legit caster bias towards Ziggs, so that's what you're revealing
No,
there.
I've got legit caster bias towards cool team fights, man.
There was, I don't know if dropping a bomb on someone is a team fight, it's more just an assassination. Interesting game here. I imagine one of Ziggs or Camille will pick up the MVP, but richly deserved win for BBQ. SKT started really well around the Caitlyn, but petered out because of the Ziggs delay. So he picks up the MVP. I think it's a deserved MVP for Crazy. His play in the side lane and his Hextech ultimatums were on point.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Flame Horizoning, the Fiora that was picked into it as well. But it was this team fight play where layering of ultimates, of CC, of everything, even wards being put down on lanterns. They didn't die at all in the first 35 minutes.
They're just so decisive in general with BBQ. They're super on point with their play. The ultimatums were consistently great in this particular game as FLICKR gets taken down in that fight. The last fight, I had a real-life Monka S going on when I saw the 6 damage. Now Camille was doing damage as well. We'll get a replay of it, I'm sure.
This was cute for Montara getting himself out, but this setup, 4 people hit by the Mega Inferno Bomb. Everything working out for BBQ this series. Just claiming space on the map so beautifully.
Blank could find nothing on the Skarner. Sejuani outclassing it in many different ways. These were still the bombs when the item build was kind of in Genesis stage.
Yeah.
The next one is when it gets a bit too crazy. We'll get to see the exact interaction in a moment. Hopping mad with BBQ, and this was the impale onto Crazy. He let him ult onto Caitlyn, and then Caitlyn was alive, and then she wasn't.
Yeah.
She's just dead. The most dead.
Really dead.
The deadest of all.
The deadest of dead possible.
D-E-D-E-S-T deadest.
D-E-D-E-S-T dead.
And Crazy, deserving MVP. It's going to prompt some changes, and there's going to be a roster change from SKT. We'll see if it's enough to appease the fans. They've been very loud about who they like and who they don't. Getting off the change is goodbye Untara. Hello, Tal.
Yeah, Tal is going to come in. Are we going to have any more? See if the music continues, because SKT, they can switch out the whole roster if they'd like to, and then probably more after that. At least Tal is going to be making his way towards the top side of the map. Means that Blank going to be hanging around.
Bit of a hair color change there. Going a bit red. The fire is on for Tal. But that means that Blank will retain his spot. I'm sure plenty of people will have something to say. They can't turn around this series. Obviously no changes for BBQ. They will find themselves on the blue side for game number 2. And some interesting picks in solo queue for Tal that we'll talk about as Champ Select rolls on. Let's see if they can get value out of the counter pick on red side, traditionally for the top lane.
Yeah, and there are a few question marks as well, because the blue side bans, as we hop into Champion Select, the blue side bans for SKT in the last series looked like red side bans half the time. We had the Olaf on the list, we had the Sion on the list as well. So now going to be able to rock them out anyway, and probably feel a little bit better with their options on the red side. Galio going to be the first one that they're going to opt into, and Faker's Rise also taken away. But blue side bans for Sion, 2 games in a row. Temp just doesn't want to play it again.
No Sion allowed. The red side flex even stronger than the blue side flex. They don't want to first pick it, so they don't want to leave it open. Predictably, we see no Olaf, a legacy pick for Trick.
Yeah, surprising that we're going to see the Galio ban as well when it's only 1 and 4 for the season for Tempt.
And a first pick Sejuani is being shouted at the top of their lungs for first pick. Will be the choice of AD carry as well, as none of them have been banned.
Varus is looking like his stock has risen very, very highly.
See what SKT makes of this. Do you ban Sejuani and then allow the Varus to be first? But they're going to ban Camille. Very interesting. Ended up being a blind pick that SKT had no great answer for. There's quite a lot of power on the Rift now. See what BBQ prioritized. Varus for a lot of teams. The Sejuani did so well, it'd be a takeaway from Blank, who admittedly didn't have a great series on Sejuani last time. It just answers the Skarner so well. The teams have gotten better and better at making this particular matchup work. It's safe, it's Sejuani. Why not Sejuani? It's been a question for many teams. And look at this, last second. Interestingly, they will change over to the Skarner.
Okay, so Trick going a little bit more aggressively, and this is I mean, we know that Trick plays with a lot of ego behind him. He is certainly outspoken there, but now possibly taking the counter matchup. SKT say, nope, Xayah Rakan is going to be their option on the bottom side. We know that the bottom lane, we had no questions for them. Bottom lane playing fantastically well for SKT, so why not give them a whole bunch of extra tools? Sejuani still being looked at.
Very strange to see them halt the Rakan pickup and take the Sejuani now.
Odd, but it should be just a Rakan pick anyway.
Mind games being shown by Trick.
Trick and Ignar, just every single time, it's just the hovers. As they could actually deny Xayah Rakan if they want to, but what are they going to pair it with is the question. Rakan, Varus could certainly be the option. I'd recommend picking up Varus for Ghost at some point in these next couple of picks.
This would be 2 picks. It didn't work for SKT as a duo in game number 1, and they're going to still take away the Azir for Tempt. They're trying to, basically, what the theory here is, they take a mid laner, they force SKT to pick Rakan, and then they ban mid laners against FLICKR. Yep. I think a Kassadin ban would be very smart, as I think that's one that FLICKR does fall back to on the red side very frequently.
And this is what you were telling me about as well when I said that, you don't necessarily need to pick up the Rakan, but does make a whole lot of sense in this particular scenario.
And it's gonna take it, okay.
Okay, Ignar.
We know that Ignar can play Unsealed Spellbook supports well, and you lose a lot of value out of your Xayah when you don't have the Rakan. Get all those extra passives, as FLICKR says, I'm gonna play Kassadin right now.
Yeah, and of course, there's no Rakan that you need to lock in, so he is able to do that very freely. Denial was very interesting out of BBQ.
I don't know how I feel about it, because the Kassadin could have been banned away in this scenario. Instead, was pretty inevitable, given it's been FLICKR's fallback whenever SKT's back has been against the wall, and it's a match. So it's a matchup that does invite the Kassadin. He's been going that way, 3-1 on the season.
And also, it means that they can't pick up the Varus. That's immediately going to get banned away, and now that bottom lane's going to get pinched. You can't ban both Caitlyn and Tristana, though, so definitely a lot of options that BBQ will have.
An outside chance that Kalista is going to be played, and Kalista will actually be banned away to remove some playmaking from the Rakan. This is getting very interesting. The knives are out in this ban phase, both in terms of hovers and takeaways.
Well, Tahm Kench is going to be removed from Wolf, making sure that there's no good options for the Xayah. There is the Thresh as well.
Basically saying, how about a Braum? Which a Braum is someone that the Skarner can ult and try to assassinate. You don't want playmakers with the Xayah as much as possible. Maybe considering the Alistar anyway. Yeah. Did so much work for Ignar in the previous game. His positioning was predictably super aggressive. The Xayah Alistar lane, not often seen on the Rift.
Haven't seen it for a while. Now Ghost, the Tristana, certainly the option here as far as scaling. Seen her paired up with the Azir a lot of times, and was also the AD carry of choice in game number 1.
I'm very interested to see the final pick for top lane, because Tal has been playing top lane Cassiopeia like it's going out of fashion. It has a good matchup into the Gnar as well, unless there's significant gank assistance. So do you see something here ultra safe, or do we see a very different matchup in the top lane for BBQ?
We see Ignar's hovers like usual. Yeah, crazy. Certainly a few options here that he can go with. This would make it a very squishy lineup if he is going to go for some sort of carry-style top laner. I'd expect a tank out of Crazy.
Thinking about the Cho'Gath, just to have a balanced laning phase. They won't opt into the Gnar. And again, Cassiopeia has been a big pick for Tal, trying to go back to his carry roots in solo queue.
Yep, and I like the idea. I call this the kebab duo. Get the Impale and then get the Feast. Top side of the map. It means that you do have a lot of secure if you do get a catch in a teamfight scenario late game.
Uh-oh, the S word is going to be out there, and the scaling word looks real if they go for the Gangplank.
Wow.
Kassadin, Gangplank. That is not the power lanes you want, but FLICKR on the Kassadin can often go 50-50, where other people will struggle. The bot lane is one that is definitely cobbled together as the lovers have been parted.
Yeah.
The star-crossed lovers in this particular game.
Yep. We'll see whether they are going to cheat on one another, as Ignar versus Bang is going to be interesting to watch. And is it going to be worse to have Rakan on his own, or is it going to be worse to have Xayah on her own, is the question. We know Tristana has been coveted a lot very recently, but doesn't do a whole lot of work early game. we've seen it picked into Caitlyn almost every other time today.
And SKT with Kassadin have kind of always had the same plan. Is FLICKR level 16 with 3 items? All right, we're ready to go. Before that, a lot more controlled. They have been very heavily into gathering Storm Kassadin in previous games. And I think that Kassadin will predictably do Kassadin things and have a great time. The game very frequently is answered before that on patch 8.4. Can they play around the globals and make things happen with the Alistar in the bot lane? Skarner ultimate on Kassadin is going to happen in team fights just to give them 1.75 seconds to actually auto-attack the damn Kassadin. Very, very interesting drafts. One thing they have to really think about because the standard stuff is out the window.
Yeah, although it does feel relatively standard on the side of BBQ. You know, they've got the Skarner, they've got the tank on the top side of the map mixed with the Azir and Tristana for the damage duo, but the Rakan on his own feels really odd. Going in for that denial as aggressively as they did in the first round. We'll see whether it's going to pay off, though. A BBQ 2-0 would be unheard of moving in here, so let's do it. Let's get into game 2. And again, we know that we have to wait a little bit longer when there's BBQ fans, but SKT, you could hear all of the voices in unison. We're basically packed tonight.
And we do definitely have SKT fans bleeding over to the BBQ side of the studio, because predictably, there's more SKT fans than BBQ fans.
Yeah.
Relic Shield start Fatal. First time we're seeing this on patch 8.4 after the mana cost nerfs. You have to be pretty judicious with your use of Parlay when you don't go for Ancient Coin. That's become the standard of the support items.
And the Relic Shield line getting a little bit nerfed while we did get the Ancient Coin line buffed, which is why people have moved over that side. I find it a little bit odd as well that he's picked up that one instead.
Yeah, it's almost that double nerf because the mana nerf accentuates the problems with the Relic Shield. Could just go for a fast back and pick up a Corrupting Potion.
Blank put down 12 wards.
You know, he didn't do much in game 1, Atlas.
He did a lot of dying.
You know, it's very hard to talk about Blank because it feels like piling on, but he really has struggled to have really any argument to be playing over Blossom. And my wondering out loud last time was maybe it was just Blossom needed some time away after some hard defeats. But with an extra couple of days off, we don't see Blossom back into the lineup, and it will be persisting with Blank in game 2.
Blossom would have been wishing that he was playing game number 1 with Olaf's potentially being available, because he's 13-1 on Olaf at the moment over the last week.
It was amusing. I saw a screenshot 5 hours after their series, and he had played 6 games with Olaf already. He was like, well, I got smashed by this. I'm going to learn the champion.
Yep. One of those champions, it's weird to talk about learning Olaf because he's been around for so long. It's almost unnecessary. But BBQ get the push advantage, understandably, against the Xayah and the Olaf. Olaf? Just talking about
Olaf on the mind.
Yep.
You've been watching Vikings over there, Atlas?
Oh, I have. I love that show. It's brilliant. That's why my hair looks like this, obviously.
Now, this season has been a lot more kind to FLICKR on the Kassadin. Last year, I felt like FLICKR had 2 trap champions. They were Kassadin and Vlad that just he really couldn't get wins on.
Yeah, despite having great laning phases on the champion often.
You'd have trouble roaming on the Vlad especially, and the Kassadin was just not the lane control you're used to with FLICKR, but what you're used to with SKT is kind of out the window. It's all new. Very uncharted territory for them. Still far away from securing a position in the playoffs. Couple of match days before. This season, the Kassadin has been hard carry performance after hard carry performance.
Well, now Trick, he's actually going to get the Crystal Spire and immediately back. And I like the idea if they're going for the mind games. You saw all of the pings coming out. SKT knew what was going on, but the Krog camp is still available, and I don't know whether that ward can actually see it. If it can't, then it's smart. Otherwise, it's a little bit of a waste of time, but he's now going to move to his own Krog camp. He's thinking about doing some battle, but won't find a Sejuani in there.
Crazy on the Nightmare Cho'Gath. Wonder what that means.
Oh my goodness.
Bringing it back. That was a free skin a long time ago.
One of the earliest skins ever.
Definitely the sort of lane where you can dive a GP because you silence him and then eat him. With any gank assist, that could be pretty happy times.
Right now, he's double the CS at Tal, so taking that momentum from what was the most extraordinary laning phase that I've seen from Crazy so far this season. I know that's big praise, but damn, it was good.
The blue side win rate for BBQ. Now, they haven't won as many games as SKT, but blue side has been more favorable for them.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean 41% of their wins have been on blue side. It means that's what their win rate is playing on blue side. So, at the end of the day, being a bit lean is... We're trying this again. The level 4 Ocean Drake. It's no fun for a Skarner.
Maybe Trick was just memeing with us. I don't know. He is going to leave very, very quickly, though. As the Rakan came up, but didn't have the help of Ghost on the Tristana. The support's just going to go for a little bit of a roam for the moment. FLICKR having an awful time, which he's going to for the first few levels. Probably wanting to go back home. Unsealed Spellbook's there, so that barrier might be switched out for a TP just to keep himself up in this lane. And you can see only down 2 CS, so...
How much has he agreed on the build? Because you look at this team and you remember some builds from FLICKR. He has gone Abyssal Mask pretty commonly. Against single AP, it's double AP. And he has a Negatron Cloak already, so he's trying to survive. It again says, yep, 3 items, 4 items, Gathering Storm, level 16. Which is a big sign to the side of BBQ that if they could actually send multiple members, starting up the Drake stacking will be pretty free.
Yep, you can see FLICKR actually just carting these minions around. Will have a huge stack. And this laning phase should be okay.
Look at this. Rod of Ages, perhaps, onto the Azir. Or maybe even an Abyssal Mask. Catalyst first on an Azir.
It's a new one.
We do see Berserker Greaves builds from time to time. You think of old Morellonomicon lines we would have. Morellonomicon, Berserker Greaves, Azir. Situationally for the magic resist reduction. But this is very surprising.
But also, I mean, if you think about it, the reason why Azir is such a great matchup for Kassadin is that once you hit level 6, you just jump on him all the time, and then you can push him out of lane. Speaking of getting pushed out of lane, good grand entrance from Ignar to go for a bit of a disengage, but the Ignite is down. Ignar's in trouble. He's going to flash, but Cannon Barrage on top, and first blood for Bang. The crowd goes nuts. SKT off to a great start.
And it's a massive lead. They use only an Ignite and get 3 summoners away from BBQ. Insanely massive trade-up. Just a mess-up in general from Ignar. You're so used to the Rakan and Xayah ranges around the duo lane. The fact that they've been separated seems like Ignar got himself in a really awful spot. End up losing their support, and that could be really big for SKT.
Yep, FLICKR, he's going to eat some honey fruit, move himself back to this lane as well. But you can see Tempt, it's a lot more little bars in the health bar than he'd normally have.
But a lot longer when it comes to actually being able to push in the minions. A lot less base damage, a lot less attack speed than traditional Stinger. You're right in that he can stand and deliver better. He'll stay at higher health for the majority of the laning phase, but there are certainly trade-offs when your Nash's Tooth is not rushed.
Yeah. Well, good luck to Tempt. I'm interested to see whether he's going to be able to make it work, and Wolf, he isn't. He's interested to watch the Azir die. Flash comes in. Doesn't even want to risk the shifting sands.
He had it on cooldown. He actually waited for all the soldiers to be used before he came for the engage. It was really smart. From SKT, continuing to trade up. They get out of lane. It's really good news stories for SKT. They went scaling. One of the easiest ways to get to the scaling is to do well in the early game, so nicely done.
Yep, biding their time. Challenging Smite actually comes in from Trick, as you can see. So Skirmisher Saber going to be the option, wanting to be a bit of a battle lawnmower. There's Blank, he could be in trouble. Fracture does come down. Tal gets the first rotation, but there's the Impale right on top of the Rupture, and Crazy just wants to eat some pork for dinner, and does so.
Tasty, tasty stuff. Very nice little brush camp from Trick, and now he's looking on to Tal as well.
Yeah, another Fracture comes down, and that's a flash out of Tal. He was just a little bit greedy, standing there and waiting under the turret.
Get the bonus summoner, and now we got battle lines drawn. Bot side of the map looking great for SKT. Top side of the map, where BBQ looks strong. Importantly, from an SKT perspective, even with Kassadin, they haven't lost the first Drake of the game. And cool to see Wolf already zoning, and to deny every single CS away from Ghost to delay the 3-item power spike.
And it's so dark for BBQ on the bottom side. You know that they were expecting FLICKR to be waiting over that wall. Did not want to give him a snowballed start in any way. Now Ignar, he's going to move up once the minion wave has left, possibly get some vision down. You can see Blank, he has that idea. Wants to be down here, trying to put the pressure in. Raptor Camp might be stolen, of course, a very valuable one.
That's a first item for Crazy. Already has red buff and a damn righteous glory to walk up and just kill Gangplank where he stands.
In his old skin as well. Oh, it's just so great. Such a hipster.
Red buff Cho'Gath was always one of the strongest things in the league.
Yeah,
way
back when he was jungling, right?
Back when he was jungling. Remember plenty of games where you get the red buff on Cho'Gath to get full value out of the slow and the extra damage from a melee champion.
Yep, getting hungry now as well as Trick is clearing out some Raptors. He's looking pretty comfortable though, and the fractures have been landing, getting the stuns, getting himself around, and this is a Skarner that managed to get the first kill, not get killed for first blood, which is helpful.
And it's two mid laners who are building like top laners by rushing into Abyssal Mask.
Oh, wow.
So Abyssal Mask, Berserker Greaves, I would imagine going to come through from Tempt. Blank against the run of play. Going to go for a bot lane Drake, then in a different game would be a bad idea. But in this game, even with Cassin in the mid lane, they're pretty happily going to take it.
And Tempt is like, I don't understand how this is working, but it's working and it's cool. There's Trick, yep, once again, it's going to be that trade. Okay. He's got a dagger now, at the same time, just Tempt in the mid lane. And see how this one continues to go. He is extending the CS lead. But once this minion wave gets picked up, it's going to be completely even with FLICKR. Trick gets some help.
Really enjoy games like this where both teams know exactly where they're strong and where they're weak, and how the teams play around that, and the mind games it places on people like Tal, who knows there's two control wards and Azir missing on the top side. Has to back away. Ult the minion wave.
Yep, Cannon Barrage comes in. I like it how that was just after he sees that the Rift Herald was taken.
For a while, as there is the Rift Herald instantly.
Yep. He was trying to get rid of a minion wave, but there was another one on his way over, and that's going to be first turret blood going over, and that's going to be a gigantic crazy once again. Just feels like we're having a mirrored start from both of these teams once again, but the compositions are so different. See what that changes as we move into the later stages of the game.
Even gets a very healthy second charge.
Yeah, that's a big boop.
The second turret, and they're considering just killing Tal.
I'm not sure whether he's actually seen as Tal's getting dove. There's a teleport coming towards the top side of the map as Impale not actually going to be taken and utilized effectively as Tal is going to survive.
Bot side though.
Oh, the ult's going to miss from Blank. Ghost, Buster Shot,
nice.
Great timing on their headbutt as well, and he's going to survive.
He can actually return to the minion wave as well. That's big. Very nice from the side of BBQ.
Really heads up as well. He's looking at the Sejuani, and then immediately, as soon as the headbutt, already on the Buster Shot.
That re-engage.
Yeah, doesn't get the stun as Blank back around again.
They desperately want this turret. Cho'Gath's not coming, so it seems like BBQ are going to slowly lose this turret one way or the other.
Yep, no one rotating over. BBQ still, they've waited for the rocket jump cooldown.
I mean, they're getting time.
Okay.
They're getting very precious time where Sejuani largely has to stay in lane to make this happen. It means their camps are available. It means the rest of the map can play differently. They're going to walk up.
Okay.
It's Sejuani at level 7 with no ult, so they don't really care about that.
Yep.
Wolf could just instantly flash headbutt pole, so that's what they're respecting more so here, BBQ. The turret does eventually go down, about a minute of delay bought by BBQ.
Not bad. BBQ are going to be ahead as far as the gold. Only about 1,000, and we were talking about scaling. That's Kleptomancy on top of Tal, and normally that skews the gold in really weird directions.
Yeah, he can't really enter lane against the Cho'Gath because with Righteous Glory up, he messes up at all and he's dead. So he's getting zoned away from the minion wave, even as the Gangplank.
Now what does Crazy do? The minion wave is right on top of Tal.
And this is the awkward time, actually. When you're this far ahead against a Gangplank at 13 minutes, you wish the game said 20 so you could walk over to Baron and go missing and force SKT to do something. Much harder to spread your lead as a Cho'Gath. Much more situational about your ganks, so he wishes it was 20 minutes so they could threaten Baron. For now, just means lane assignments change as Tal's just trying to find farm wherever he goes. He does find Trinity Force because it is gank.
Still going to have a fair bit of money. FLICKR absolutely fine here in this mid lane, both of them. Bit of a masquerade. As, we've got the very curious Abyssal Mask Azir, which you can't say hasn't worked. It's still looking fine. Stayed alive in this laning phase. Blank getting a little bit out of position.
Oh, we're coming.
All right, Tal and Blank could be in trouble. Decent fadeaway jump shot, but Ignar is going to get the knock up. In comes Crazy. He wants more of that pork, but isn't going to be able to grab it. But BBQ still get the inside track and will grab themselves. sorry, this outer turret on the bottom side of the map.
Be faster as well, because they invested the extra members, and Tristana does Tristana things.
Yep.
Take down the turret. No way for Kassadin to deny Azir just walking into lane, because the Abyssal Mask means that you don't just take 300 damage winning trades in terms of health every time. Both of them are able to stand and deliver.
Yep, and Tempt more than happy just to farm underneath this turret as well. Very healthy is the mid lane outer turret. Bang with a lot of free time though. He's going to be able to even things out turret-wise. Yeah, FLICKR and Tempt just fighting, having a good time, but Wolf hanging out over here is going to deter the Azir from getting too much more.
It's the first time that mid lane has turned into the lane you shouldn't watch.
Yeah.
The tank lane.
Why is Gangplank Cho'Gath so exciting this game? And then the Kassadin Azir is boring as hell.
Resident Sleeper.
Oh, what a world we live in. It does feel like opposite day, though, watching SKT versus BBQ. You guys saw the stats as far as the history between these two teams. Hasn't been great reading for BBQ fans. This would be pretty spectacular if they were able to come back in this series. And right now, 500 gold in the lead. We remember talking about scaling, and that was largely in reference to SKT. Not that BBQ don't have options.
Very interesting to think about late game fights, because
yeah, actually, I was looking at it and I'm like, hang on, wait, I don't even know if I agree with me.
You definitely want to go there, but you're very much less committal when there's now new variables. Low attack speed. It will be National's Tooth eventually for Azir. We'll go Sorcerer's Shoes and have the early penetration that will help Crazy when it comes to early ganks. It's going to be definitely a high health build from Crazy. He's working towards Warmog's the second item. No Abyssal Mask needed on the Cho'Gath.
Might actually go the Gargoyle Stoneplate, the
Definitely.
old build.
The max HP, max feast damage build.
Yeah, that might be Assassination Cho'Gath that we're going to be checking out.
But then you just consider Kassadin comes in, gets suppressed into silenced, and then probably dies, even if he's going to be fairly tanky. So FLICKR continues to be the biggest scaler ever, the S word that we tried to ban.
Yeah.
He's going for a late Archangels for the most overshield. This will help against Feast.
That's true. But if he's stuck inside an Impale and then gets feasted with Ghost throwing satchels on top of him, things like that, don't know how much shield is going to be enough shield. Tal
is so happy he gets to play single player for a bit.
Yep, finally. Catching up in farm very, very nicely. His trick is heading on over. Just to be able to lock down the gangplank. Difficult thing to do with the oranges being available. So far, we were comparing the Xayah versus the Rakan as far as which is going to be able to be most useful. I think in the early game was Bang having a lot of capability in that front.
Well, you think back all the way to release Xayah Rakan, and people said, well, Xayah's really good alone. I'm not sure about this Rakan. His laning phase is really bad. And eventually, of course, we learned about the full value of Rakan and how hard it is to get away from flash quickness into grand entrance and things like that. But you take the elevator pitch and remember that Rakan's laning phase, without the extra range on Battle Dance, is weak. He is not a good laner in any single way. He's a fantastic team fighter, whether he's able to engage from off the screen or whether he's Ignar style, gonna teleport in, put down a control ward, and make the play. So we're getting away from the time when he's at his most weak spot.
Yeah, and I like you talking about Ignar style because he is certainly Ignar style. We saw Ignar certainly having a great game on the Alistar last time around.
I mean, every time you see Ignar on the Tom Kench or Braum, you think it's something wrong's going on. It's a travesty.
A single tear as you load into the game. Very true.
Items starting to come together for Ghost, who is one of the people benefited from all the trades. Remember, they gave up 3 summoners very early in the laning phase and still have been able to come out relatively unscathed for the Tristana.
Okay, in goes Blank. Does find the ultimate as Tempt will just push away
FLICKR.
That was an odd one. Ignar's here. And that's not normally how you feel when you gank it as here.
They just didn't take any damage. They were like, we got him.
And they're like, wait, we've got it. No, we don't. We don't have him. This guy's taking too long. As Bang could be in trouble. Actually has to use the flash and doesn't get the red buff either.
And they just out-rotate them into mid lane. There goes the explosive charge. Most of mid lane turret, and they will give it up.
Yep.
BBQ end up out-rotating, and the damage calculations when you throw in the Abyssal Mask, you gotta throw him out the window. You rip up the piece of paper and say, all right, he's just a tank.
And what is it with Tempt today? I mean, nails it on the Ziggs. The Ziggs look beautiful in game number 1, and now mixing things up with the build. Almost has his Nash's Tooth done. But the Abyssal Mask seems to be a stroke of genius, which is not something that I was expecting to announce this game.
It's one of those strange things where, like I was kind of alluding to earlier, you're against SKT, and while people will say, haha, 6th place team, all the struggles they're having, it means something to the players. Even queuing into FLICKR and solo queue means something. And you get that buff playing against SKT. We're seeing creativity. We're seeing a team also desperate to avoid relegation. So there's a lot for BBQ to play for, even if, of course, it feels like a one-sided narrative of either SKT make playoffs or don't. There's always a counter story, and for BBQ, there's still the chance of forcing another team into relegations that's playing on their minds.
And now we've got the race to 3 items for these 80 carries. The most quintessential 3-item 80 carries. Bang, much more expensive to get to his Infinity Edge, though, as the Infinity Edge is done for Ghost and just needs a rapid-fire cannon to feel pretty good about his build.
And we feel a bit facetious about 3 items with Xayah and Xayah Rakan because the Zeke's Convergence does carry a lot of the burden. There's probably not going to be a Zeke's Convergence from Alistar, and that's something to remember, is that some of those damage calculations are different. A lot of things are a little bit off. If you have PTSD, this game is definitely going to do a number on you because Xayah and Rakan are separated. It's a tank Azir in the early game, then a Nashor's Tooth. A lot of things are a little askew, and what that means in terms of team fighting, in terms of scaling, all of that is to be resolved, and I feel like I'm watching on like everyone else to really understand what it all means put together.
Yep. What can Trick get done now moving forward as well? I mean, he's had that 1 assist, had some decent work done. He's been farming like you wouldn't believe, hoovering up all of the monsters in the jungle. Trying to find the fracture hits, but not really getting there as Tempt and FLICKR once again doing battle. But Tempt, this isn't the Azir that you're expecting it to be. It's crazy he's actually teleporting in.
Deep teleport too.
Yeah, where's he getting
Who's getting
to?
caught?
Okay, Blank, he could be in trouble as Ignar. The quickness is there, but it's good placement from the Cannon Barrage and BBQ. Actually forced to get out of there. Tempt flanking the Kassadin. What the heck is going on?
They get a teleport and BBQ don't immediately get anything. That is something to remember for the side of SKT. Wolf uses ult early because Feast answers with the true damage, answers the Alistar ult in a very clean way.
That's scary.
Yep, Nightmare Cho'Gath comes back.
He's very, very large.
But
It does suit the new animations more, that time.
It does. Remember, it's also double teleport. Well, not right now. It's actually Ignite on Kassadin, but potential double teleport to just a single. Ignar would really prefer to keep on with the cleanse.
Yep, can just go back home and grab the teleport whenever he wants to. So I completely understand. Wolf doesn't have his unsealed spellbook, as the Zeal is now in. BF sword for Bang. Things are getting better and better for the Xayah, the KDA king of SKT.
Trick can walk up to minion waves a bit easier now that he has his overshield of his own with the Sterix Gauge.
We're talking about execution in the late game. I want to go back to the scaling conversation because I'm still a little bit confused. I guess if we go back to execution, things feel a lot easier for BBQ. They do have just a very standard composition where you put the burly guys in front and let the Tristana shoot from the back. Trick can grab a single target if they face check, things like that.
It's all kind of the Kassadin variable of what does it look like when he jumps into a fight and when does he jump in, because previously we haven't had quite as many things to respect for FLICKR. He hits level 16, he has the short cooldown on the Rift Walk, boom, 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 carries die and they win the game. Harder here with silence, suppression, and just Rakan, at minimum, probably charming the Kassadin along the way.
Yeah, and the value of Buster Shot as well, Ghost. And it's a couple of Rift Walks of distance that you then move the Kassadin away from you, and maybe in that time, someone's been impaled and someone's dead.
What's Tempt's positioning like for the Azir? Is he frontlining on the Azir?
True.
Because he jumps in. Even the shield strength is relevant because he has magic resist to back up what is just flat health when you think of how a shield works. A lot of unknowns. I feel like trading places was started by the Xayah Rakan and cemented in this game as they want to turn on to Tempt again.
Yeah, ultimate does come down. He does have the heal, but there's the ignite. The flash to get him out of there. Cannon Barrage, and Wolf is just going to pound him into the ground. Trick now in trouble. Going to try and get himself out of there. Doesn't use the flash. And could it be that the Baron is now the opportunity? Ignar well behind enemy lines. BBQ get the shove. They do stop SKT from thinking that Baron is a good choice.
The timer decently long, was about 32 seconds when they started, so they're going to walk up to the Baron anyway.
Yep, clearing
Haven't
things
started
out.
it yet. Looking for a face check.
SKT know that there is no vision available.
Temp doesn't have Unsealed Spellbook, so can't get there for a while. Baron damage, not fantastic, but decent for SKT. It's a very tense part of the game, and Baron could certainly swing it.
If Crazy is taken down, that could be where the problems lie. SKT jumped the gun just a bit, getting themselves out. Thought that they might be able to grab Crazy, but no, not a chance.
Call for the minion wave and top starting to push out, so not going to be punished in the biggest possible way. Another teleport's going to be offset for the Gangplank after Cho'Gath used his earlier.
Okay, Tempt feeling a bit sheepish, makes his way back to this Baron pit. As BBQ once again clearing things out. Okay, Blank is hanging around. They have started off the Baron outside of the vision range as Ghost. He's going to turn up. Blank, he's going to make this a 50-50, but is it one? There's a feast on Crazy.
He's going to get it.
Yeah, Baron is going to get taken down, and again, 2 games in a row. BBQ just nick a Baron.
They just had no wards to put over, no control ward in the inventory, and they just front door it down. And SKT watch on dumbfounded as their advantage is taken away from them. Turned around instantly. They're turning on to Crazy. That's optimistic.
Yeah, good luck killing that guy. That's like when the drunk dude tries to fight the bouncer on the way out. It's like, no. Just go home, buddy.
Man, that was another decisive shot call that BBQ a few weeks ago wouldn't have dreamed to make. It also crests onto 3 items onto Tristana. FLICKR's going to take a long time to build the Archangels. Faster, of course, because you get the 8 per stack when you are into the evolved Archangels into Seraph's part. Items are not there for Bang. The Zeke's Convergence is not there either. It's going to be Righteous Glory coming through from Wolf. No Banner of Command to really make this the most insane of Baron buff pushes, but so many options for BBQ, and just such decisive play that you wonder where it's been all season.
Yeah. Zeke's Convergence was opted in for here from Ignar just to make sure that Ghost could be as strong as possible. You got huge tanks coming in as Trick. Double Null Magic Mantle after all of the health items have been picked up. Void Staff should be there relatively soon for Tempt.
And Zeke's Convergence is there for Ghost at 3 items.
Yeah.
Which could be really big. Speaking of really big, it's Crazy.
He's really, really big.
This tank lineup that somehow includes an Azir is still very amusing to me.
The frontline chicken, man. Brilliant. They're like, oh, those guys have 2 tanks. We can have 3. Don't worry, we'll be okay. They chose an AD top laner, but yeah, we got this.
Ghost walks up. He feels really good about Cho'Gath, and Skarner walking up with Warmogs. Goodbye, turret.
Bang does have his 3 items now, only just got the Infinity Edge.
They're only playing 1 lane at BBQ, so maybe going to look for something really frisky.
But whoever engages just immediately gets impaled. We don't have QSSs just yet, so Trick has a lot of value.
It's still a pretty low value play to play 1 lane when there's AD wave clear on the Xayah and the Gangplank. They don't have a Banner of Command to make this trivial.
Dragon, not exactly high class in the Ocean Drake. 1 more minute of Baron left and no base to be broken. We will just take away this one. All too easy for BBQ, but it's not the objectives that they want to be getting.
And another Ocean spawning is going to be frustrating for them as well. Still, they push in for another inner turret. I imagine the defense will still be there. Rakan is in base.
And moving on back, not actually seen on the map, so SKT not going to opt in for any instant engages, but as soon as they see the Rakan, they may pull the trigger.
Azir took a very defensive route. Wasn't spotted, which was smart of him because, yeah, full information, map hacks on. You definitely make that engage.
Yeah, well, I think that's been the MO of Tempt in this series so far. Respectful, defensive, but intelligent. The play from BBQ's mid laner. Slowly but surely they're getting damage on this turret. Knock up onto Tal. FLICKR, he's just looming on the outskirts of the fight.
Looming, lurking, but not affecting. He has gone a low damage build. He's still scaling. A Baron buff to BBQ was not included on the checklist for FLICKR's Kassadin. Gonna walk up, try to take a turret in the mid lane or try to draw someone. They're definitely not
Whoa,
interested in
there's
drawn.
the flash in for Ignar. Has the quickness. He will go down, but can they get anything back? Blank, very, very low. Trick gets a decent escape, but is he going to get taken down? FLICKR jumps forward. Ghost is in so much trouble. Emperor's Divide does heaps of work as Wolf turns some corners, but Ghost is going to get Feathers ripped through him, and BBQ may have bitten off more than they can chew now. FLICKR jumps on top. He's going to get another one. 5 kills for SKT, and BBQ looks silly.
Ignar taketh away. They did not need to dive there, in a great punishment on the side of SKT. BBQ, attempts going to get out, but does get interrupted. There's no advantages to get on the map, but turn that around. These are minions they shouldn't have got access to, because the siege should have still been happening. Ignar does not need to go in. Makes the play thinking they're strong enough to burst someone. Even through the feast, Blank lives after he was turned upon. And then they're exposed because the Rakan is dead instantly.
Yep. Wolf did so much work there with the headbutt pole. Didn't hesitate on the flash whatsoever. Bang, flashing forward, knowing that they have all of the tools available. Good cleanup from SKT. BBQ getting a little bit overexcited.
3 members go down. They retool, buy more items, and return. Merc Tread's being built by Ghost this game. Knows it's largely base damage it's dealing with. Positioning on the map is what has been recreated and got back here for SKT, but of course, no Baron to turn on. Baron spawns in 1 minute 40.
Yep. Minute and a half, but Ghost, the BF sword is his choice. Looks like wants a bit more lifesteal.
Yeah, Bloodthirster is recommended with how much incidental chunk there can be. Casson walks up Qs, a barrel comes from somewhere. Even just sitting in the Gangplank ultimate, lifesteal is going to be very heavily prized. The summoner cost was also severe. They lose 4 flashes effectively, as Ignar has cleanse only.
Yeah, gonna go for that. No more Ghost. Did the old flip around, try and grab himself an extra cleanse, which is an odd choice.
Well, I mean, he wants to initiate and doesn't want to get answered by the Sejuani ultimate. You don't often see this being the choice. He could have got an extra flash like he did in the previous game.
Yep, feels like it's valuable. It's now side lanes going to be the top laners. 1-3-1 for SKT, though, as the flash is actually used. Righteous Glory scaring the hell out of Tal.
He didn't have enough information. There was a couple of people mid lane, but not everyone. So safety first comes through from Tal.
Oh my goodness.
Tal's build is still super low damage, and that's the good news for BBQ, is that the chain link barrels are not something to respect. Damage finally starting to get there for FLICKR, and he certainly doesn't die very fast.
Yeah, that Lich Bane really is helping. 3 items. When the next couple come in, that's when the real trouble starts for BBQ. Assuming it's going to be Rabadon's Void, or Void Rabadon's, depending on how it's going to go. Blasting wand here for Tempt. Okay, throws out an ult for no reason. We just shifted some sands as Ignar was trying to block out, but they do trade ult for ult.
So shifting sands is on cooldown. That's why he used the ult early. He knew he was tanky, but could not live through 7 seconds or so before shifting sands was up. So I agree, looked silly out of context, but was necessary for Tempt.
Tal, he's going to walk his way back, does have teleport available. No flash, of course, because it was just used, but no flash from Crazy as well. He wants to be able to try and flash on top of Bang after he gets some sort of silence or something like that.
Right
Get
now,
him before the Feather Storm.
Right now, pre-Bloodthirster, I think Ghost is burstable.
Ow.
Unfortunately, Blank is very squishy, only has health.
Which is why the BF sword was a very good choice from Ghost. No need to cut through some armor.
The moment the Bloodthirster is there, I think they're in a really good spot here, BBQ, because you can't burst him down. He'll turn around, and as long as it's auto-attacking, he will not die to kind of incidental levels of damage. They don't really have burst damage outside of Xayah at this point in the game. Going back to the scene of the first crime, the highway robbery on the first Baron is what set BBQ ahead. It's going to start it.
Yep. Not a lot of vision on top of it, as well as FLICKR. He's waiting for his opportunity. Half the health bar on the Baron as BBQ peel away. But they're all very, very healthy. Oh, the 4-man barrel. Cannon barrage. He's done all the work himself. He gets shoved back into the fight. Crazy is going to eat him. The first kill goes over to BBQ, but SKT have softened them up so much. Tempt, some auto attacks are in there, but FLICKR, look at him having his way with whoever he wants, and Ghost is well and truly out of the fight. SKT, Tal especially, that was beautiful.
Absolutely, got in the backline with a teleport flank on Gangplank. FLICKR just looking to zone Ghost away and guarantee some turrets.
Okay, FLICKR's getting aggressive, jumps on top and just dies. That was probably always going to happen.
That was pretty comical with the build. Don't know what FLICKR was thinking there. Overrated his damage and then some. Wonder what that means for the Baron, because now 2 are dead. Maybe they give up Baron because of that.
Not sure. That's not a mistake that FLICKR often makes. Caught window shopping, yes. Damage calculation,
that was
not usually.
That was pretty awful, if we're going to be real. We don't often use words that strong for FLICKR. I understand the start of it, zoning away the Tristana, but the overdive was weird. Can't stop the back, and now BBQ run to the Baron.
Yeah, but like, stop the back. That means there's no Xayah, there's no damage on FLICKR. The Cannon Barrage is about to be back up again, and Crazy just teleports in. They've got ultimate secure on this Baron.
Time for Blank to be a hero.
How are you supposed to do it when the beast is still there? SKT, they just want to try and find the fight. There's a lot of chaos, and it is going to get eaten. Wolf is now in trouble, and BBQ, 2 Barons in a row, all too easy.
Completely correct on that. Sometimes the Feast and the Smite are miscalculated. They're not in this case. SKT have given up a Baron, gotten a couple of turrets. FLICKR's the only one you can really point your finger at the back end of that fight. He respawns. What does this all mean? Gold lead to SKT, but it's a slim one. A Bloodthirster onto Tristana, and then maybe her safety with a low damage build from FLICKR pre-death cap is enough. Still, this game is tense after it felt like Tal had made the game-winning play.
Yeah. He's gone the Essence Reaver as well, so maybe if that was an Infinity Edge, those barrels would have done more damage, but in goes FLICKR. They're trying to find Ignar. He's got so many options to try and get out as Wolf. Almost felt like he was just trying to get aggressive. The Pulverize does actually land as Wolf has to flash to get out. Crazy, massive on the front line. Investing a lot to try and get on top of Ignar, and they do get his flash, which is important.
Trick has the flash up, so they were looking for the re-engage. Such a tense game with what it means. Bloodthirster complete on the Tristana. Suddenly, as an overshield and some magic resist coming through from the Merc Treads.
The thing that's really scary here is if FLICKR gets impaled, I think he just dies.
I think if he goes in without the Seraph Shield, it seems guaranteed he'll die in 1.75 seconds, but yeah, it's going to be very close, Atlas. That is a pretty good read on the situation's high damage build coming through from Ghost, and even Tempt is doing good damage now.
Ignar once again, the Rakan pick, feeling a little bit scary. He's not very tanky. A lot of damage onto this turret. The BBQ probably not going to go overly aggressive on the dive, and Ghost, he just does so much work. The Bannon also just tearing up this turret. Thankfully, the Banner of Command came in. SKT looking for this wraparound flank with FLICKR. But they're going to need to find a fight at some point. Otherwise, this inhibitor should just fall down.
FLICKR behind, but there is a Sun turret to protect them. Will be spotted on Vision as he tries to close.
Lots of vision actually available for BBQ here as Trick. He's booking it. He's trying to get around and grab the Kassadin.
No point when they're that far away from the rest of the damage, though. They want to just continue to play up one lane.
Yep. This is so intense here. BBQ in a lot of control, but the gold is irrelevant right now. You look at it, you think 8-3 in kills. That means SKT's ahead. They're ahead in gold. No, they're down 2 turrets. The map control over to BBQ. They have been the team playing more coordinated on the day. Still, you just don't ever count out a team with FLICKR on it. I just don't think he can ever do it, even if he is making some odd plays today.
I mean, just straight up bad was the play onto Ghost. Should have known he would stand up and be DPS down there, so we can't mince words with FLICKR on that one. But BBQ only take down an inhibitor turret. See FLICKR top lane, they try to make the push again.
Yep, Tal could be the opportunity here as Cannon Barrage is going to be utilized on the minion wave. Smite down as well as we're going to check out FLICKR backing. Was much quieter than the Cannon Barrage, but no fight to be engaged just yet. They haven't been able to take down this
the
bannoned up minion.
Does so much of the work for them, BBQ. Finally getting that Banner of Command. Siege minion almost takes down the turret alone. BBQ just can't afford to overdive. That was their problem last time. Ghost is caught.
Yep, cute knock up, but Ghost, rocket jump now on cooldown.
Can they just kill Crazy?
Yeah, stuns up on Crazy, but Ghost, he's got so much overshielding. Tempt is going to be able to try and get his way up. It is now the opportunity for FLICKR there. Tal getting in, not fast enough just yet.
Gonna give up positioning on mid at a minimum. Spotted on a single ward.
Going to be the option there.
Tempt needs to get out, and they want to stop that from happening. Rocket jump used as well. No vision here.
SKT, they don't spot them. They can't split up and search the jungle.
They're going to lose at least one inner turret. They will not lose the inhibitor turret as the recalls happen. Wow. This game is so tense. They have about 100 health on their own inhibitor turret in mid. Crazy going for even more magic resist.
QSS now done for Ghost. Rabadon's death cap for FLICKR. Banner of Command almost back off cooldown yet again. We've almost got the secondary. Actually, no, not going to be going for it just yet. for Ignar. Seems like we are going to have a game with only one banner of command for the BBQ lineup.
None at the moment for the side of SKT.
Well, they're probably not going to get any Barons, Papa Smithy.
Does seem that way so far. Crazy having the series of his life against SKT.
Yeah.
Great this game, even though it's 2-1-0 on the show.
And he's had moments of brilliance, but this has been a series of brilliance so far. We haven't seen too many bad things from his Cho'Gath or from his game number 1.
94 MR being on the Tristana. No Void Staff yet for FLICKR. That will be the final item you'd have to imagine.
Yeah.
Until that comes, going to be relatively safe to the first round of damage.
Tal is huge, though. Infinity Edge just complete. Oh, man. Sterix Gauge on top of it. This is the most damaged build and the most expensive build from the Gangplank.
The game style from BBQ is not really playing the map. They understand that having Cho'Gath against a Gangplank in a side lane doesn't work like it did 20 minutes ago. They're trying to pile in one lane. Very high value play with the Banner of Command. Baron buff minion, much less high value right now as they're kind of milling around, and Tal is able to pick up minions as they go. Just allowing SKT to finish up their 6-item builds.
Almost 500 CS, 40 minutes into the game is Bang as well. He has been farming creeps like you would not believe. Mercurial Scimitar is complete, so he's at 6 items. Not sure where the backs are going to be located, and when armor starts coming in, Ghost is going to start feeling a little bit uncomfortable about how this build is going. But I do love the idea of grabbing the Bloodthirst, but it would have been good if BBQ could get the base broken open, at least with an inhibitor down that last push.
Yeah, returning to the scene of the crime in bot lane has proved a problem for them. Taking it much earlier, the inhibitor turret.
Elder Drake in 10 seconds, Baron in 40.
And that's where they found most of their success, having the enemy come to them, and then Azir and Tristana can do a lot of work. But when it comes to actually finishing off an objective, that has proved a lot tougher.
Flanking options here from SKT. They've got control. Their own bottom side jungle. That ward giving them so much information as we are going to have a pause. Maybe someone needs to go to the bathroom. It's 41 minutes, potentially. Not sure what's going to happen as Joel will probably hop on Discord and let us know.
Very tense part of the game. Thankfully, no action starting as the pause is called.
I don't think it's a gameplay issue as well, because it's not like someone got stuck in a wall or anything like that.
Waiting for an update. Just looking to see what the true issue is.
Seems like it might be over on the BBQ booth, because I can't see what's going on over there. And everyone on SKT's side is just chilling out. Oh, man. Pause came at the wrong time, Papa, because it was so incredibly intense. Everyone would have been completely in the zone. But as we take a step back, are we feeling like BBQ are actually in a winning position here? Are they in a winning position yet? With Tal just getting stronger and stronger, the barrels working out so well so far.
The barrels matter a lot when you're walking into the enemy inhibitor, and he can set down barrels, set them up, put the Gangplank ult down, and guarantee the positioning. When you're saying, hey, come over this Elder or Baron that we've started, barrel links are much harder to pull off. So I think the terrain really does matter in those cases. You think of the wrong dive happening from Kassadin, Suppress, Emperor's Divide, and a Bloodthirst to Tristana, and potentially you can stand and deliver with relative safety on Tristana. We get the call that is actually a game issue, as you can see on screen, and Wolf is calling it.
I take it all back. It was actually over SKT's side. We just hadn't really started trying to get things figured out just yet, and because it's a game issue, we're probably just having a look, utilizing a spectator client. Not sure what's actually gone wrong, and Joel has been deceptively quiet.
It's ward clearing stuff, I believe, so. So it seems like there's a bit of a visual bug around the Rakan cleanse that's being
you can see two cleanse icons instead of
what his actual summoners.
Yeah, what his actual summoners are.
That's bad.
It's a bit of a spellbook problem.
Sounds like a reconnect would hopefully fix that. But I'm not 100% clear.
Hopefully.
I kind of come from the try to turn it off and on camp of the world. They are trying to turn it off and on, it sounds like.
Yeah, that seems to be the move. So the problem is over on Wolf's side. Wolf can see two cleanses for Ignar, and Ignar's probably just fine.
How many Shens does he see there?
Ooh, not enough.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, first they took our Shens, etc., etc. Trick, you can see, feeling
seems like it's a one-person issue.
Yeah,
with,
so it's just
Wolf.
So at least we do know which ones his summoners are, so that's handy.
Not a trivial issue, though, because
yeah,
with all the swapping that's happening with the Rakan, that's a frustration that shouldn't be there.
Yep, you should be able to see that and understand exactly what he's got so he can make the right decisions. You can see Trick. He's not looking too worried about anything right now. Yeah, we have
Sounds
solved
like the
it,
issue's
reconnected, and then everything is going to be
the
okay.
IT crowd had it right. Try turning it off and on.
Yeah, or just jiggle the DVI cable. I was an IT support guy for a long time, and I got 90% of my work done with that one.
Damn.
It was real.
You on Reddit for a lot of your job, weren't you?
No, I just Googled it. That's easy. Not bad at all. Wolf, hopefully we can see everything, and it's all okay. You can see it's actually a little bit more worry on the side of SKT when you're the team with the onus on you to win these games, and they had to win this against mostly the Rocks Tigers to try and get themselves ahead. If we move this back out to the standings yet again, there's so much pressure
We
here.
should define have to, because you could lose to BBQ and beat KSV, as KSV places both of the teams in the rush, and things could change, but you have to look at strength of schedule and say going down 2-0 to BBQ is a big problem when it comes to standing up to Rocks. If they win by any scoreline against BBQ, at least temporarily, they're ahead of Rocks Tigers by game score, but not by no more than that. Because even if they win 2-1, they're both at -3, but because of that, at the -3 case, the tiebreaker is head-to-head, and SKT own the head-to-head.
Yeah. The Baron timer has disappeared now on Wolf's screen, so we are cycling through our visual bugs, as we'll probably go with the same option, maybe just to turn it off and on again once again and see what is going to happen. As you can see, Wolf chucking his headset back on again. We're just hoping that we can get back into this game. This could be a real momentum jigger, though, for
a jigger,
BBQ Oliver. Yeah, a jigger. It just jigs the momentum. You know, you're sitting there, you're just looking at a pause screen. You want to stay in the moment as BBQ because their flow was going very, very well. Now SKT may have had an opportunity to throw that one off just a little bit.
It's always interesting because every player interacts with the pause differently. It is taking you out of the game, like you say. It's muddying the comms. When we were watching the screen, it was all about ward clearing around the enemy blue buff for the side of BBQ and the Elder Dragon being started.
Yeah.
But everything seems a little bit less clear when you have this extra time.
You can see the text moving away from Wolf's computer now. So
all right,
he
so
remembers the
like
timer, and he's okay with the bugs.
So unfortunately, that's going to have to be a bit of extra mental effort, because right now there's no way to resume the timer.
Yep.
And will spawn very soon, and that will hopefully answer the issue there.
You can ask his mates for a tab as well, if they could possibly do that. He's got 4 friends on comms with him, who I think have access to it. So we are going to be hopping back into the game. Baron timer or no? There's still going to be the option. I remember it's about like 1 minute and 20 seconds.
The about.
Yeah.
About's really useful when you need precise calculation.
It is actually,
here we go. It's 13 seconds.
It's only 13 seconds, so I think we're going to be absolutely fine. But it's going to be BBQ. They are on the Elder. SKT trying to get position. BBQ actually holding them off here, and they are over to the side. BBQ, the full team, as Blank wants to try and find this fight, but they've got so much secure over the side of BBQ. Blank gets himself in there, but it's eaten once again. The Elder Drake, so huge, but this is only the first, remember. 2.5 minutes on that one. Not the gigantic we insta-win button.
No smite used there. They have smite up, soon to have feast. SKT taking a very aggressive route to get back to mid.
Yeah. Thought that they had vision control, thought they knew exactly what was going on and could try and get some sort of flank, but yeah, inside track owned for BBQ and SKT. They don't even want to start a fight against this Elder Dragon. BBQ once again just making better map play across the board.
And with a Baron minion pushing in top, is it time to try to turn an Elder into a Baron? They have Baron secure in about 15 seconds when the feast is available. But now they control the area. All the vision was bottom side. Those control wards outdated for SKT.
Yeah, cute little barrel comes down just to scope things out. Wards there for BBQ for SKT, so BBQ will have to walk over it, try and get to this pit. But Baron, the bannered up minion on the top side of the map, is doing some split push and work. The lone wolf, we can call that one Liam Neeson, I think.
Liam Neeson wants to break the base, will eventually, but SKT cannot allow the Baron to go down. Baron started, they have no vision on it. Blank walks up, that's all he can do.
The blue dots, though, they've already careened through that tower, and now SKT, they're trying to start the fight. Crazy eats another big buff, and Igna has the quickness, tries to get the flank as Tal is in there, but already they've taken down Trick, and Ghost just gets exploded. Okay, no more big buffs to be taken, and look at this. BBQ are actually just going to walk up and try and flank.
Yeah, they're going for the actual inhibitor in the top lane. Tempt will make short work of this. They walk up. They're going to take the inhibitor. SKT going to have to give that one up. They're trying to take mid lane inhibitor. There's so much going on the Rift.
Yeah, but there are going to be super creeps that are going to be helped by the Baron if Tempt can actually get back down there. Crazy there as well as FLICKR and Tal just want to stop backs and try and exchange these inhibitors, but see the base, there's still minions in there. I'm pretty sure Liam Neeson is still going behind enemy lines as Crazy's just going to use the teleport. There's the Emperor's Divide. Tempt trying to get the work done but can't actually do it and he's going to get picked off. Crazy gets to his base and you can see SKT, they're going all in, but you've got 8 seconds on Trick and another 12 seconds on Ghost. They're not going to be able to finish the game here and it's 2 inhibitors down and no more inhibitor turrets left. I think the BBQ may have come out better in that trade. I don't even really know.
It's so hard for SKT to take inhibitor turrets because they only have a single range champion. 500 odd range onto the Xayah. And for the pick onto Trick, they don't get it.
Yep, Ghost gets down here very, very quickly as well, so they clear out the minion wave. SKT still with the pressure on. Baron still available here as well.
5v4 for the next 20 seconds as well as Tempt does not respawn.
Tal still has his teleport as well. Crazy has his down. Tempt, yep, like you say, 10 seconds. He's going to be up.
Teleport onto a ward, 10 seconds on Tempt. This is really tense.
Yeah, SKT, they need to try and get this one done, even out the inhibitors that have been taken. As Tempt, he's up right now on SKT. They don't want to risk it. Wolf gets auto-attacked by Crazy, who wants to try and get in there. Righteous Glory now off cooldown. Blank tagged by the Fracture.
Chasing with a Rupture. The crowd is erupting every time the Rupture comes close but does not kill anyone. One inhibitor taken down. The minion waves pushed out. The game in relative parity. SKT's future still on a knife's edge here. They really need this win against BBQ to give themselves the biggest chance of making it to playoffs. Super, super tense times as BBQ try to push up bot lane.
Yeah, look at the lumbering Cho'Gath making his way towards this inhibitor.
Remember, FLICKR does not have teleport. He has Ignite, looking to answer a minion wave and thinking that BBQ are going to take time to actually commit to this.
Yeah, double super creeps hanging out up here as well. FLICKR does a lot of damage, so can clear this one up. But BBQ, they know that he has to back. They may actually get some spare time, and if Ghost gets a few auto attacks into this inhib, it is most certainly dead. FLICKR is going to turn up. The timing for this engage has to be perfect from SKT. It's Ghost. Oh, he just wants
minion.
One more. He might actually overstay this one, as there it is. Okay. The last inhibitor is dead. Timers more friendly for SKT. But for BBQ.
Our first instinct, though, when it came to scaling, when you go back and disregard the items and think about Cassidy and Gangplank in the late game, very, very difficult for Cho'Gath to do his thing. He hasn't been able to actually impact the fights like he wants to. So overall, SKT have had the run of fights. It hasn't been a clean, let's all run each other 5v5 NFL-style snap. It's been very much all over the place, with objectives the only place teams are fighting. BBQ choose to push through mid lane. It should have Sun Turret just goes down. They're 5 members strong. It's still 3 inhibitors down, but the minion wave in top lane at least repelled by SKT.
Yeah, and this is the most ridiculously late game Xayah you have ever seen. And if there's a member on SKT that is still playing like the world champions that they have been in the past so many times, it is Bang. Bang has so much damage. His team needs to create a frontline for him. FLICKR needs to create a distraction. You understand how the comp is going to work. They got a 6-item Gangplank, but you still don't know what is going to happen.
I know that BBQ should wait for the minion waves to push in. Tal is answering one in bot side, so they're thinking about a flash Skarner play, flash down Skarner we should mention.
Yep, Tal, no teleport in his bottom side, but thankfully the minion waves are shoving towards SKT. That's what happens when you've only got 1 inhibitor remaining.
Needs to move to the top side. Nice flank ward there. Put down so FLICKR cannot just go for a double hop.
Yep, Crazy. So much health on this Cho'Gath, just eats up.
All right, someone has to respond. That's 3 cannon minions in the top side.
Yeah, super creep's doing so much work. It's FLICKR in there though, and he's got a lot of damage. Every auto attack that Ghost gets on this inhibitor is meaningful. But this is just giving the other 2 time to repair. SKT waiting for an opportunity, but also happy to stall this one out if they can.
Baron respawns in a minute 45. That all-important second Elder spawns in a minute 15. BBQ would prefer to have as much pressure as possible to really start to deny there being any vision from SKT around those objectives. But the secure so far has been on points. They back away, they go for a shop. They know that this may be the final shop of the game. The game lies in the balance for both teams.
Yep, minute to go on that Elder Drake, and BBQ know that that is their ticket to victory, most likely. SKT will have to leave their base, but 2 inhibitors are now up. If they had got that mid lane inhibitor, that would have been such a huge deal. But mid is going to spawn for BBQ as well in the mid lane. Oh man, this is so hard to work out. It's so hard to gauge.
Yeah, I'm looking at the items and trying to see where there is disparity. And obviously, there's going to be different items on Crazy and Tal, but the one thing I notice is the Blank is pretty anemic. He has the Warmog's random, which is answered by Skarner, but Skarner also has Banner and also the Locket.
He's got 6 items. He's feeling real good.
Whereas there's much less items onto Blank. Maybe it's time to blow up the Sejuani, even with no armor pen, onto Ghost, who's gone 100% crit, instead of going for the Lord Dominic's regard. I think in this case, with Sejuani this far behind, he's made the right read.
Oh, Banner on the top side of the map. Trick chose the right one because 5 members have to hang out around the Elder Drake. If BBQ gets some spare time, they will secure it. You can't go for a 50-50 because they don't exist. The feast is too strong.
The super play has to be close. There has to be a big outplay. Alistair and the Rakan both able to do that. Notice Rakan, for once, has exhaust, hasn't gone onto the cleanse this time, and that might be a pivotal choice, depending on how the fight turns out. Elder spawn, Baron spawn, quick engage!
Yeah, they're gonna jump in there as, oh my god, Tempt just gets torn apart. Ignar trying to lock down FLICKR, but he's already done half of his health bar. Ignar should fall, but there's the exalt. FLICKR is dead, and Ghost gets out of the way of the Featherstorm. Crazy and Trick are just tanking damage, and Ghost makes it through the base gate. SKT, we've made the trade. It's 1 for 2 in favor of SKT.
They're going to want at least 2 inhibitors from this, but Ghost is strong, we all know that. Because of the minions, Tal's drawn back, it's 3v3.
Yep. Tal's going to go back and try and clear things up, and now BBQ say, we actually want to try and turn on something, but no, SKT, they're going to do the same thing. Teleport making a 4v3, as you've got the stun onto Crazy. Trick has to get out, and they want to get on Ghost so desperately. Tal taking damage. Crazy almost way too big in this fight as Blank trying to tank up as much as he can. Ghost get the autos, try and get them onto the Pirate, but he actually can't. Bang, he's at full health as well.
15 seconds on the respawns. They know they can't stick around on this. They'll back away. No advantage gotten. SKT keep out team fighting BBQ, but it does not mean enough.
Well, the Azir is going to be back up again.
And we're trading buffs.
We are. Looks like BBQ, they're the ones that want to be taking the Baron because the Elder Drake, this is going to be the first one for SKT, so not that 5-minute buff, I believe.
No, still the 5-minute buff.
Oh, okay. No, not the 5-minute buff. The subsequent one that you actually claim for yourself is going to be the big one. And that's why BBQ were happy to make a trade, but no, not happening this time.
You need to get the second one independently. Going to this particular calculation there, wasn't clear on that mechanic.
So now, the next Elder, the most ridiculous you have to fight Elder Drake possible.
No Baron claimed for BBQ either. SKT onto the Baron. Crazy's still dead. This could be double buffs.
Yeah. Looking like they're going to be able to claim everything for SKT and BBQ. Understanding that without Crazy, they can't do anything. Bit of a disaster for BBQ fans, thinking that they could possibly get the dream 2-0 against SKT. SKT now in so much control.
So many options in fights. Skarner has been unable to get any value out of the Impale. 52 minutes into the game, SKT might finally have pulled the full outscale onto the enemies.
Now is it time for us to get the crazy plays from BBQ, the backdoor options, the takedown inhibitors with someone just trying to get in there and get the work done. Is this where you try and fight front to back and outplay SKT in a team fight at an hour into the game?
Well, Dominic's regard now picked up, so 100% crit is no longer there for Ghost. Feels like he finally has to show some respect to the Sejuani in particular. First banner of the game very late, but there by Wolf finally.
Triple cannon wave.
Ignar trying to desperately catch up and finally gets the banner in top lane.
Yep. Okay, and that one's going to be sent forward to see how long it takes SKT to notice the bannered up minion, but it's not going to be nearly as strong as this one. Sun Turret, I wish you luck, good friend. Trying to stave off this huge stack of minions.
Double buffs are there for another 30 seconds.
Yeah, not too long on this Elder Drake. Barrel is flying in.
You're giving up 2 inhibitors here. Very straightforward manner, but SKT are going to want more.
Actually trying to go for these Nexus turrets as well. SKT thinking that this is an opportunity to win the game as look at these trebuchets just smashing down on the inhibitor. They've crossed lanes. They're not too worried about it. SKT.
BBQ have to go in for this. They cannot allow everything to go down.
Yep, they need to try and start a fight. Trick. He's just going to take subsequent damage. You can see Bang, he's doing a great job of making sure that everyone is getting poked out.
They're going to lose PvE.
Yep, Nexus turret number 1 goes down. Tempt tanking up the siege minions, but he doesn't want to do that. He's just probably going to die if he gets too much more of this damage.
Ghost has a hurricane just trying to deal with all these minions, but they keep streaming in.
Yep, Crazy desperately wants to try and eat it as in goes Ignar, finds the triple knock up. There's the Rupture on top of it, but is it going to be enough? The Cannon Barrage goes down. Emperor's Divide, I'm not sure whether that's going to be enough either, as Trick is finally going to fall. Blank also taken low as FLICKR jumps in and once again throws his life away, but he kills the Tristana, and that's the game. They bought space for Bang, and we're going to game 3.
Ultra tense was game number 2. Look at BBQ with their 2 Barons. We're going to get over the line. No one is celebrating yet on the side of SKT. Right at the end, the Kassadin and friends were able to overpower the Skarner, and they got the outscale, but oh, did it take a long time, and still there's a best of 1 to really understand if SKT's rise to playoffs is still on.
And does BBQ have another crazy plan? Game number 2, it was the Azir picking up the Abyssal Mask, making that laning matchup feel better post level 6. In game number 1, it was the Ziggs and the beautiful play from BBQ. Feels like they're the ones trying new things and then trying to win with surprise when SKT, the end of game number 2, just came down to that veteran status, the hold on. They managed to get that 1 extra pick and won the game.
Sold out to all their items, were online as well. Kassadin able to balance tankiness with damage. It was such a razor's edge this game was fought on. The pause resumed and it seemed like it was going to be BBQ running away with it. But SKT made the right decisions when it mattered. They just about get over the line. Still going to be plenty of lingering doubt about the lineup, but it's enough to pick up the victory here and force that all-important game 3.
Yeah, and is the adrenaline going to be enough to get them over the line? It's so late here as well. I mean, there's going to be so many tired players on both teams. It's 11:20 at night, and we've still got another game to go. There's been so much League of Legends, but when it's this intense and this close, I'm happy to watch it. Just crazy stuff. We are still, guys, going to go to a short break. Afterwards, it's going to be game number 3, the pivotal game number 3, must win for SKT and for BBQ. Don't go anywhere.